Hello, how are you? So today I'm at the Flag Monument in Rosario, enjoying the lovely Sunday afternoon. And for those of you watching the video series for the first time, my name is Sabine. I'm a marketing consultant and I help professional women around the world create an online business that allows them to live and work anywhere. And today I want to speak about finding your purpose and understanding what you're good at and what you can do to really feel like your life and what you're doing, your projects are worth living for, and what how to make that connection with what you're meant to be and what you're actually doing at the moment. So it often comes around for people in the same case than I am, going abroad and after so many different changes, and you feel like you've done lots of different things, but you think maybe there is something more that I'm meant to be doing. And I want to find something that makes more sense in what I'm doing. And usually after many many times of changing jobs or countries, you come to the point where you think, well, what do I really want to do? I had that after probably was when I was living in London, but it didn't really come to. I wasn't able to verbalize it until probably a year or so later on. And when I got here in Argentina, and the mentality was very different in terms of entrepreneurship and starting your own business, that I felt compelled to do something different. And I would not necessarily have done it before because of the mentality of the countries where I was, and because of life circumstances, and I didn't feel ready to do it. And so it's interesting to see how the environment can be can be to your advantage to start doing what you feel like you have to do, and to feel compelled to do something that is worth living for. And lately I have been doing lots of the personal development work, and looking into understanding how to help other people finding their purpose, and helping people understanding what their strengths are, and what they've always dreamed of doing, and how to transform their life into their dream life, and not just trying to get by and find another job and move to another country and in a way keep doing the same thing. So and that's very, very interesting. And I did a couple of exercises. I mentioned one last week on finding your hidden strengths, and from things in your past, from your personal I would say background, but it's just from your life, from what you've done so far in your life, and be able to identify what are those strengths. And I've been reading a lot as well about finding your purpose, and how in a way it is something that you've always had in you. Whatever your purpose is, it's something that you had in you. And I was listening to Marissa Peer. So the people in the UK, you probably know her. For others, you may not have heard of her. She's a hypnotherapist, and she's really well known in the UK. She's been a lot on TV and in newspapers, writing column on quite a few magazines. And she mentions, and she's not the only one mentioning it, it's something that came back watching her the other day, and I thought, oh, that's very interesting, because that's not the first time I hear it. That something from your childhood is what is actually your true calling. So you need to really go back to your childhood and the strengths that you had and what you felt compelled to do as a child, and that's what is actually is your true calling. So, and she mentioned that something from the age of 8 to 12 or 13 is when that thing was the most prominent, the most something that people told you that you were good at this thing, and that you felt that this is something that you knew, something that, not necessarily thinking of in terms of a job, of a future job or future project, but think of something that is inside you that you were good at. And I thought it was very interesting. And it's very hard work to go back to your childhood and understand, what was your strength at the time and what moved you at the time. So it's going back quite a few years. But I recommend you to do that exercise, and it's something that you can ask your family. You can go back to maybe if you still have projects from childhood, books, not books, anything that you may have written down when you were a child, drawings that you've done when you were a child, comments from your teachers from that period, and maybe identify something that you were good at and you were praised on, and something that is related to what is your true calling. So I thought it was very interesting, and I invite you to do that exercise and maybe understand what you feel and how this is inside you, and it's just a question of finding it and understanding what it is and how to apply it to your daily life. So that's it for today's video, and I'll see you for another edition of my video series. Bye bye.